Welcome everybody to the Rover 216. From this angle, you may be forgiven for thinking it's just a Rover 25, but it's not. If you know your Rovers, you'll spot a couple of things like the bumper trim and, of course, the boot lid trim as well. And the biggest giveaway is actually that. It's only really from the front that anyone could tell. I'd say anyone who's seen a car before will tell you this is a 200 and not a 25. As a fan, of course, of the Rover 25, it's difficult for me to say this, but I do actually prefer this one because the 200 was, well, it was a better made car. Yeah, I'll show you why. This was made before the K-Series engine was made just a little bit weaker. Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a strange thing to say, doesn't it? But it's true. The K-Series originally didn't really have any head gasket issues. No, it was down to some big company, some massive company with great wads full of cash that thought they'd cut a couple of corners. And it's not just that, because the other thing is the older models don't tend to suffer with damp boots. Look, dry. Look, dry. Why is that? It just shows at one point they knew how to make a car that was waterproof. Inside we have these seats, the paisley pattern seats that don't go floppy there. Look at that, perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that seat. How often do you see a 25 with this here with bits of metal sticking out? The answer? All of the time. This car doesn't have quite as much of a rovery face as the 25, but it does have a stronger face. These headlamps don't go faded. This grille is actually made with bits of things pressed together and screwed in and, well, rather than just a clip. Attention to detail. Attention to detail. Attention to detail. I'll say that again. Attention to detail. That's why I like Rover. But it's not the only reason I like them. With many a car, I don't quite know what I'm going to get when I start driving it. With this, I do. I know I'm going to love it. But not only that, I really love the looks of it. It is so cute. It's cute from that angle. It's cute as a 5-door or a 3-door. And the front end is equally lovable. Just look at it. It makes me want to have a big cuddle with it. Yes, what a fabulous little car. Do you know, the amount of Rovers I've driven on this channel, the amount that I've featured, the amount I've bought, the amount that have just basically been here, yet I can still get all misty-eyed over this. It looks like it might just be a slightly bog standard car, but you know, it's not. It is the SLI and the 216 SLI. Do you know what that means? Well, what we have here is not only cute, very nice to drive, but also just a bit nippy as well. Because underneath the bonnet of this one we have the 1.6, not the 1.4. And that might not sound like a great deal of difference, and it isn't. It's not. It's not even a great deal more horsepower, but it is a lot more torque. If you know your Rovers, then you will know it's not just the bumper and the headlamps and the grille that's different, but also the bonnet. The bonnet is free of the ridges, which I do quite like, and it's also got a slightly different front wing. And in this model, as we can see, look at that, it's got wooden caps. They're not proper wood like they are in the R8, but even so, they just add a bit more detail than is strictly necessary, and that's a good thing. Proper carpet, soft feel dashboard with that there as well, and then, this is unusual, a leather steering wheel. It's actually a leather steering wheel. I wasn't expecting that, and a leather gaiter. And above my head is a headlining that isn't droopy. That's because it's just been refit. Door shut sounds, yeah? I've never driven one of these before, but that's not true because I have. I used to have one, in fact, but that was a couple of years back, and I must say it was a very, very pleasant car to own. It was just a bit rusty, whereas this one isn't. It's a lovely example, and it feels really special to be driving it. I mean, although it's pretty much the same as the 25. Having that different front end and the better quality materials does just make it feel that much more special. So it's typical of the Rover R3 really. Gear change is excellent and slick. The steering is really precise and playful, and it's just an absolute joy to be in. It's funny, that thing where some cars are just dull and they just don't make you smile. These just really do. If you want to be a happy person, buy a Rover 25 or an R3. Honestly, it'll change your life. And that engine is sweet as well, which usually the 1.6 is. The 1.4s are a good engine, but they are much more likely to suffer with piston slap, whereas these don't seem to do. Anyway, we're going along at 30 miles per hour. We're reaching this point where I can put my foot down just a bit in third gear. Are you ready? And go. There's 50, that was easy. This car will keep up with anything in the traffic. I don't mean it's as fast as a Ferrari. It's faster than a Ferrari that's broken down, but it does motorway speeds with ease, and that's really what you need to know. I like it. I'd be tempted to buy this off you, mate. I'm not joking.
Certainly did.
So, Allegromsn, what can you tell me about this car?
This is a Rover 216 SLI that I picked up back in August. It had been parked up through COVID, and it's only done 50,000 miles, well 49,877 to be precise now, and I just sort of thought, gosh, you just don't see this model 216 SLI with that mileage, and I've kind of just done it as a bit of gone to town like I would on one of my Allegros. I've got a massive list of stuff that I'm going to tell you I've done with it soon.
You're turning into Roverman rather than Allegroman.
I'm not doing that on purpose. It's just I'm not finding the Allegros as often. Sorry.
Testing.
Testing.
R35
AFM.
Testing. You're testing.
Am I?
Yeah.
Right. Well, what I've done with this car, yes. New brake pads. Full service. Cam belt. Water pump. Auxiliary belts. Some welding. There and there on the other side.
That's welded.
Yep.
Can't see it.
No. Tried to do my best there. Headlining. Well, before I say headlining, this very nice chap here happened to have a fresh sunroof glass. So, from Paul Roverman, a fresh sunroof glass.
That's me.
Through Retro Sports Cars at Bailiff Bridge, a genuine seal has been purchased via Expart for the sum of 50 quid. They have recovered the headlining for me as well. So, Paul wants to...
well, I've already...
You've already done that.
I've already
yes,
pointed it out, but what harm could it do
to
just admire the thing again? Look at that. It doesn't leak.
And then, brand new gear gator. The middle section of the exhaust and the back section have been replaced. Just tried to go over it and make it so that it's all sorted out.
You like to sell a decent car, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, you do. And it is. It's lovely. Oh, by the way, is it for sale by any chance?
Oh, yes. Yes.